Welcome to the Resident Evil Timeline Part 4, The Rise of Bioterror. In Part 3, the Umbrella Corporation battled the after effects of the Raccoon City outbreak, being forced to defend itself in court, but after several outbreak incidents and the loss of multiple facilities, the company was running on fumes. And after Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine led an assault on Umbrella's final stronghold, Wesker ensured their secrets would be exposed for the world to see. The company collapsed completely, and its founder, Oswell Spencer, was the subject of a worldwide manhunt. Although Umbrella was gone, their legacy would live on, and the world would be in more danger than ever before. Before Umbrella's downfall, rogue researchers looking to profit from their time with the company left, before its collapse, taking their knowledge with them, and a worldwide black market resulted, filled with samples of Umbrella viruses and bioweapons. In response, several organizations were created to deal with possible viral outbreak scenarios, including the Federal Bioterrorism Commission, or the FBC, led by a man named Morgan Lansdale, that was developing plans of his own to strengthen the power of his organization. After Umbrella was destroyed, the private anti-biohazard service was disbanded, and Barry Burton retired to take care of his family, no longer fearing that Umbrella could harm them. Chris and Jill, on the other hand, knew that Wesker was still out there hatching plans of his own, and Chris especially became obsessed with tracking down his former captain. The two former STARS members, alongside a man named Clive O'Brien, helped found the largest worldwide anti-bioweapon group called the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, otherwise known as the BSAA. O'Brien became director of the BSAA, and Chris and Jill were known to be one of their most legendary operatives, the heroes that killed Umbrella. Soon enough, the BSAA expanded large enough to have several branches around the world, and the vacuum left in Umbrella's wake was waiting to be filled, and many other companies had been aware of their true activities for some time, a fact that Albert Wesker would take advantage of. He was still a high-ranking member in the organization, but no longer needed them, and secretly used their wealth and resources to build his own secret organization on the side, dedicated to his own interests. But Wesker's organization would need immense financial backing, and he contacted another pharmaceutical corporation called Tricell, offering them his knowledge. Tricell established a secret bioweapons program of their own, and Wesker also formed an alliance with a high-ranking Tricell employee named Zexella Gion. In return, Wesker was rewarded with immense financial gain, which he used to fund his own organization. During the same time, Jack Krauser, the agent that worked alongside Leon in South America, sought out Wesker, amazed by the power of Umbrella's viruses. Wesker promised to repair his damaged arm, and Krauser became one of his loyal agents, alongside Ada Wong, who he was always suspicious of. Although Wesker questioned Ada's loyalty constantly, she was simply an expendable asset until he could find the means to establish a new world order under his rule. And a religious cult known as Los Iluminados, or the Enlightened Ones, located in an unknown rural region of Spain, may have discovered exactly what Wesker needed. The Enlightened Ones, centuries ago, had discovered a species of parasite native to the area, they named Las Plagas, a parasite that attached itself directly to the nervous system of living creatures, human or animal, taking over complete control of the body, in effect becoming the organism. The cult used the parasites to infect villagers and expand their numbers, but a member of the local Salazar family opposed the cult and sealed off the parasites in his castle. In the year 2004, the new leader of Los Iluminados, Osmond Sadler, convinced the current governor of the Salazar castle, Ramon Salazar, to break the seal that contained Las Plagas and use them to expand their power again. The two men hired local villagers as miners to excavate the parasites, and due to the years of being sealed away with no hosts, most of them appear to be dead and fossilized. But Plaga spores still survived, and the miners breathed them in, becoming infected and allowing the parasites to regrow inside of them, taking control. Sadler studied them and was able to successfully recreate Las Plagas, injecting them in egg form inside their hosts that came to be known as Ganados. Slowly, the entire region belonged to the cult, and the villagers were enslaved and taken over by Las Plagas. One of Sadler's researchers working with the parasites, Luis Serra, grew horrified with the cult's actions. Luis took medication to remove the egg from inside his own body before it can hatch and escaped. He was an extreme threat to the cult's secrecy, so he was recaptured and was held captive in an old farmhouse until the medication he took wore off. Then he would be re-injected with a Plagas egg. Ada Wong had intercepted one of his outgoing emails with information on the cult's activities, and Wesker placed them under close surveillance. Wesker sent Krauser to infiltrate the Ganados region and find find a place within Sadler's inner circle, with the idea of acquiring a Plaga sample of his own. Although Sadler didn't trust Krauser, he promised to give him a dominant species Plaga, an artificial version of the parasite that would enhance him without giving up control of his body. But first, Krauser had to prove himself by kidnapping the daughter of the United States President, Ashley Graham. Sadler had plans of his own to dominate the world, and plotted to infect Ashley in order to gain control over somebody close enough to influence the president. In the fall of 2004, Krauser kidnapped the president's daughter and allowed the parasite into his own body, completely healing his arm and gaining more power than he ever imagined. As an insurance policy, in case Krauser failed to return with another sample, Wesker sent Ada in to retrieve one as well. And back in the States, Leon's career as a special agent had advanced quickly, and he answered directly to the president, entrusted with the mission of rescuing his daughter. Leon examined the intel on Ashley's kidnappers and followed the trail to the Granados region of Spain, completely unaware of the dangers awaiting him. This leads us to the events of Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4.
Just up ahead is the village.
I'll go and have a look around.
We'll stay and watch that car. Don't want to get any parking tickets.
Right. Parking tickets.
Good luck.
Jeez. Who are these guys?
Did you say something?
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm Ingrid Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud and clear. Somehow I thought you'd be a little older. So the subject's name's Ashley Graham, right?
That's right. She's the daughter of the president. So try to behave yourself, okay?
Leon discovered a Ganado home, hoping to find information on Ashley's whereabouts from friendly locals, but discovered quite the opposite.
I was wondering if you might recognize the girl in this photograph?
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? ¡Lárgate, cabrón!
Sorry to have bothered you.
Freeze! I said freeze!
Once he reached the village, Leon found the body of one of the drivers that had escorted him into the region, taken and burned alive by the bloodthirsty Ganados. Leon could tell there was something inhuman about the villagers, but this infection was like any Umbrella zombie he had seen before. The Plagas parasite inside their bodies were in full control, and the people that were once inside were gone. But the Ganados could communicate almost like a hive mind and organize themselves in a massive group to hunt down their prey.
Shit. Me voy a matar.
Son of
Leon quickly became overwhelmed by their massive numbers, and Ada, having recently arrived in the village, caught a glimpse of Leon, about to be overrun by them. She hadn't seen Leon since Raccoon City, but still harbored feelings for him, and saved his life by ringing the local church bell as a distraction.
Oh, la campana.
Es hora de rezar. Tenemos que irnos. Lord Sattler.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
As far as he knew, Leon was on his own in hostile territory, but his mission remained the same. He had to find the president's daughter and rescue her. But the Ganados were extremely dangerous. Not only were they infected by a powerful parasite, they also set up several traps throughout the village meant to annihilate any outsiders. Even innocent animals sometimes stumbled into their traps. Inside one of the houses Leon stumbled upon, he found Louis Serra, Sadler's ex-researcher still trapped, awaiting reinfection. Leon rescued him but encountered one of Sadler's most powerful weapons, Chief Mendez, once a Catholic priest in the area, now a host of Las Plagas.
Perfect. The big cheese.
What?
Feeble humans, let us give you our power. Soon, you will become unable to resist this intoxicating power.
Hey, wake up.
Ay. Crawl out of one hole and into another.
After being knocked out, Leon was injected with a Plagas egg, just like the Ganados he was fighting against. Now it was only a matter of time before the parasite hatched and he lost his humanity completely, and he joined Luis as a prisoner of the cult. Luis had overheard one of the villagers mention that Ashley was being held at a church. Leon now had his destination, but had to look for an opening to escape. But escape wouldn't be easy, since Mendez was still in the area.
Something, cop!
After you.
Nuestro jefe se cuidará de la rata. Si la plaga es mucho mejor que la nuestra. Tienes razón.
You carry the same blood as us, it seems. Nevertheless, you're an outsider. Just remember, if you become unpleasant to our eyes, you'll face severe consequences.
Ada had saved Leon's life for the second time, and he still had no idea that she was there, following his progress, hoping that he would lead her to the sample she was looking for. On his way to the church where Ashley was being held, Leon found the other driver that helped him get there. His remains were being thrown into the nearby lake as food for a creature that the locals called Del Lago, one of Sadler's earlier parasite experiments. Del Lago was originally a normal salamander, but after becoming a Plagas host, grew to an enormous size. Now the salamander was a beast, used to dispose the bodies of outsiders that wandered into the area. Del Lago wasn't the only challenge Leon would face, however. The Plaga's parasite inside his body was slowly starting to affect him, beginning the process of attaching itself to his nervous system, and temporarily blacking out. Soon after waking up, another one of Sadler's monsters was unleashed, El Gigante. Originally a normal human, but after being infected by Las Plagas and experimented on further, they became uncontrollable giants. And since these giants had extremely limited intelligence and were impossible to control, the cult only created a few, and kept them trapped underground until Leon arrived. And at last, Leon had found the church that Louis spoke of, a structure that had clearly been there for hundreds of years, and found Ashley locked inside.
Ashley!
Don't come!
Hey! Take it easy!
No! Get away!
Calm down. Everything's going to be just fine. My name's Leon. I'm under the President's order to rescue you.
What? My father?
That's right. And I have to get you out of here. Now come with me.
I'll take the girl.
Who are you?
If you must know, my name is Osmond Sadler, the master of this fine religious community.
What do you want?
To demonstrate to the whole world our astounding power, of course. No longer will the United States think they can police the world forever. So, we kidnap the president's daughter in order to give her our power, and then send her back.
No. Leon, I think they shot something in my neck.
What did you do to her?
Ashley had also been implanted with Las Plagas, just like Leon had been, and it was too dangerous to take her home. Having the president's daughter as a parasitic host near her father was exactly what Sadler wanted. The pair ran and found Luis again hiding inside another house, and a huge group of Ganados followed them.
Well, I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too.
How rude! And I don't believe there's any relevance with my figure and my standing. Who are you?
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness.
Ashley, upstairs!
Okay,
Looks like they're backing off.
So, what do we do now?
The bridge I crossed to get here's out. So I guess we have no choice but to keep moving.
I forgot something. You guys go on ahead.
Louis.
Hey, señorita. Got a light and some smokes to go with it to make my day?
Where's the sample?
Okay, we skipped the foreplay. As a matter of fact, I was just going to get it. Where's the love, baby?
Sounds like fun to me. Just hurry up.
Okay, lady. Where do you stand on all of this? Exactly what kind of group are you working for?
There are some things in the world better off not knowing. This is one of them.
Fine. I can take a hint. I don't care who you are, as long as you get rid of that old man and his religious friends.
All Leon and Ashley could do was keep on moving forward, and he had to find a way to get rid of the implanted eggs before getting Ashley home. But he ran straight into Chief Mendez, who showed Leon the power that Las Plagas could bestow upon a normal human.
Hasta luego.
After the death of Mendez, Leon and Ashley made their way to the castle close to the Ganado village, where much of the cult was concentrated, and found Luis. Since he used to research Las Plagas, he knew the symptoms of infection. During their travels, Leon and Ashley had both been having convulsions and coughing up blood. That meant the eggs inside of them had already hatched, and time was quickly running out. Luis had a drug that would stop the convulsions and slow down the infection process, but he had dropped it when running away from the Ganados, and set out to find it. Another one of Sadler's converts made his home inside the castle, the governor of the region, Ramon Salazar, a role handed down generation to generation. Although he was only 20 years old, a rare condition gave him his gray hair and an elderly appearance at an early age. Salazar was approached by Sadler and believed him to be a prophet, willingly allowing himself to be infected by Las Plagas, and allowing the seal containing them to be undone.
You alright?
I'm fine! Leave me alone!
Ashley, wait! Ashley!
What's going on?
What a pleasant surprise. But I'm afraid it's Ashley we need. Not you, Mr. Kennedy.
If you don't need me, then get off my back, old man!
Did you say old man, Mr. Kennedy? It might come as a surprise, but I'm only 20 years old.
So you're just like all the others? A puppet of the parasites?
Surely you don't think I'm the same as those diminutive ganados. The parasites, Las Plagas, are slaves to my will. I have absolute control.
Well, I really don't give a damn. Rain or shine, you're going down.
Get rid of our American friend.
Suddenly, Leon was assaulted by Ganado forces, and he fought back. The special agent had become a thorn in Sadler's side, and they needed him gone. His goal was solely the president's daughter, and he needed to be sure that her infection was completed before he returned her to the States. But Leon's skills and combat experience couldn't be matched by mind-controlled villagers, and he made his way through the castle, surviving everything the cult threw at him. Ada had been following Leon's tracks, and she arrived, and she finally revealed herself to still be alive after all these years.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, but following a lady's lead just isn't my style.
Put them up now.
Bit of advice, try using knives next time. Works better for close encounters.
Leon. Long time no see.
Ada. So it is true.
True? About what?
You, working with Wesker.
I see you've been doing your homework.
Why, Ada?
What's it to you?
Why are you here? Why'd you show up like this?
See you around.
Ada!
Deep in the castle, Luis had found the drug he left behind that would slow down the infection. But Sadler was well aware of the traitor's actions and made sure he would pay with his life.
Now that I have the sample, you serve me no purpose.
Sadler!
My boy Salazar will make sure you follow the same fate.
Stay with me, Louis. I am a researcher, hired by Sadler. He found out what I was up to.
Don't talk.
Here. It should suppress growth of the parasite. The sample. Sadler took it. You have to get it back.
Louis! Louis!
I found Luis. Unfortunately, a bit too late.
Did you retrieve the sample?
No, Sadler has it.
There will be another time. Have you had a chance to eliminate Leon?
Not yet.
If that's the case, then maybe we can capitalize on his little lucky streak. Take advantage of the distraction he is causing for Sadler and his followers to retrieve the sample.
After Luis's death, Leon found where Ashley was being held and saved her, releasing the binds that were holding her. For now, the young girl was on her own, trying to escape from her captors and finding her way to Leon. Back under the protection of Leon, they made their way deeper into the castle and discovered a complex more massive than they could have imagined. Huge chambers filled with fire, an underground monorail system, rooms that were meant to kill anyone who entered, with complicated mechanisms to stop them, a hive of Novistadores, horrific once-human experiments infected with Las Plagas, now insect-like creatures. And the few moments Leon had with Ashley ended as one of them grabbed her and took her back into cult custody. The technology found in the castle was beyond anything that should be found in such an old structure. Leon knew he was on the right track. Just like Umbrella, Sadler's security measures must have been hiding something very important.
Where's the satisfying sound of one's impalement?
Don't fall for this old trick.
you! No more games! Kill him! So nice you could join us, Mr. Scott Kennedy.
You again.
Leon had finally cornered Salazar, but he wouldn't go down without a fight, revealing his true symbiotic form. Leon quickly found out that Sadler had a wider reach than Leon had ever imagined. Not only did he have the local villagers under his control and an entire cult behind him, he also had his own military force, infected by Las Plagas, protecting the labs that he had originally used to perform his experiments with the parasites. The labs held horrifying test subjects, rooms filled with monsters like the Regenerators, experimental bioweapons created by implanting leech-like Plagas into the body. These creatures could regenerate damage done to their bodies almost instantly, unless the parasites inside were destroyed individually. Leon found where Ashley had been taken and successfully freed her, determined to keep her safe, but the infections in their bodies were getting stronger and stronger, and Sadler was beginning to gain control of them.
Now, come to me, Ashley.
Ashley!
Leon rushed after Ashley, but his past would soon return to confront him. Ada had reunited with Krauser, both agents under the thumb of Wesker. Although Krauser was completely devoted to his orders, he and Wesker both suspected Ada couldn't be trusted, and Krauser was ordered to go after Leon himself.
Time, comrade.
Krauser, you're the one who kidnapped Ashley.
You catch on quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from.
What do you want?
The sample Sadler developed, that's all.
Leave Ashley out of this!
Oh, I needed her to buy Sadler's trust in me. Like you, I'm American. die, comrade!
Ada!
Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Looks like we have the upper hand here. You knew each other?
More or less. Maybe it's about time you told me the reason why you're here.
Maybe some other time.
Leon felt the parasite inside growing, and if Sadler had developed a way to implant a Plaga's egg into the body, he must have developed a way to remove one.
Sorry, Ada.
We have to get that parasite out of your body.
Yeah. But before that, I gotta save Ashley.
And inside Sadler's inner sanctum, found an area filled with even more dangers. Leon was getting too close to Sadler, and Krauser finally revealed the secret that he had been hiding. The parasite inside had repaired his arm and made him stronger than ever.
Witness the power!
You've lost it completely, Krauser.
Prepare for your death, Leon.
Leon's old comrade had been defeated, and Wesker's only hope left to retrieve a sample of the parasite was with Ada, a sample that Sadler had in his custody. And the walls were closing in as Leon was able to contact his agency and request backup.
Take cover!
I'll make sure you're the next to go, Sadler.
Ada had reported into Wesker that Krauser had died in his confrontation with Leon, but she discovered that he indeed survived and decided to end him herself.
Think of all the paperwork I would have to fill out if you were to show up alive. That's a large thing you have there. But I don't like it when men play rough.
Ada decided to secretly help Leon find Ashley, going against Wesker's orders to kill Leon, and the two were able to find the lab where Ashley was being held by Sadler. Ada held Sadler off as long as she could. While she was fighting against Sadler, Leon and Ashley found the machine that could be used to remove the parasites for good.
Alright, here goes nothing. How are you feeling?
Like $1,000,000.
I thought you were gonna die. Alright, guess I'm up.
You okay? I don't know about you, but I think it's time we go home.
His mission was almost over, but Sadler would not allow him to leave so easily.
Better try a new trick, cause that one's getting old. You okay?
I've been better.
What's so funny? Ada, stand back.
Leon fought for his life and unloaded his weapons on the now transformed Sadler. And just like in Raccoon City, Ada helped him escape with his life.
Use this! Sorry, Leon. Hand it over.
Ada, you do know what this is.
Don't worry. I'll take good care of it.
Ada!
Gotta go. If I were you, I'd get off this island too.
She really pushed it.
Here, catch. Better get a move on. See you around.
Very cute.
Ada had also planted explosives in the facility and fulfilled her mission, stealing the sample from Leon. But she had no desire to see him die, and provided him with the means to escape.
Ashley! Ashley! Where are you? Come on. Let's go home.
Sounds like a great idea. Mission accomplished. Right, Leon?
Not quite. I still have to get you home safe.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
Sorry.
Somehow I knew you'd say that, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you know? So, Who was that woman, anyway?
Why do you ask?
Come on, tell me.
She's like a part of me I can't let go. Let's leave it at that.
This ends the events of Resident Evil 4. Ada returned to the organization where her true loyalty was, and gave them a sample of a dominant control Plaga, and gave Wesker one of the lesser subordinate ones. Wesker saw her betrayal as a mere inconvenience, and was able to retrieve the body of Krauser, extracting the dominant Plaga from his body that he wanted. In death, the soldier had fulfilled his duty to Wesker, and Wesker took the sample he obtained and secretly sent them to his partners at the Tricell Corporation, where experimentation with the parasites began. But the new Plagas threat wasn't the only danger in this post-Umbrella world. A team of scientists were researching species that were able to survive in the deep depths of the ocean, and discovered a virus inside the body of a fish. The fish should have never been able to survive in such deep conditions, but the virus somehow allowed it to flourish. This new virus was dubbed the Abyss virus, and samples of Umbrella's T-virus were fairly easy to obtain in the black markets of the world. The T-virus was combined with the Abyss virus, forming the T-Abyss virus, a mutagen that would create unpredictable mutations similar to the G-virus, sometimes with added aquatic features. And the city of Terragrigia would see firsthand what the T-Abyss could do. Terragrigia was the first of its kind, an aquatic city built in the Mediterranean Sea, sustaining its population completely with solar energy. A terrorist group known as Veltro opposed the construction of the city, believing that the city represented the moral corruption of society. They considered themselves an Italian nationalist group, but Veltro's beliefs and actions bordered on being an armed cult. Veltro was led by a man named Dr. Jack Norman, previously a university lecturer, who forced all members of Veltro to wear gas masks to conceal their true identities. Behind the scenes, the group was financed by the leader of the FBC, Morgan Lansdale. Although he was the head of an anti-bioterror group, he wanted to prove that his organization was necessary and desired to expand its power. Lansdale approached the Veltro organization and provided them the means to attack Terragrigia, providing 3 luxury cruise liners to use as transport for Veltro troops, an army of Umbrella's hunters, and UAVs armed with the T-Abyss virus to disperse in the skies above the city. The entire city fell into a complete panic as the infection and hunter army spread, killing every civilian in their path. And Lansdale's FBC was sent in to neutralize the situation, beginning the events of Resident Evil Revelations.
Resident Evil Revelations.
2 FBC agents, Parker Luciani and Jessica Sherwatt, made their way through the city in an attempt to rescue civilians, but all they found was death and destruction, as hunters had decimated most of the survivors.
For the love of God!
Jessica, hurry!
Are we in hell? Yes. They call it Terragrigia.
On the way, Parker and Jessica found another one of their fellow agents, Raymond Vester, wounded and saved his life. But the outbreak had gotten completely out of control, and the decision was made to destroy the entire city. The solar array above the city would be used to concentrate the sun's energy into a blast that would sink the entire thing. The wounded Raymond evacuated immediately with Lansdale, and Parker and Jessica rushed to the heliport before it was too late.
Get the ladder, we gotta go! Okay, ladies first! Triggered a chain reaction. Look, the city.
The city's so bright.
Terragrigia is no more.
We came to help, but did nothing.
After the destruction of Terragrigia, Lansdale deemed that Veltro was no longer useful to him, and remotely released the T-Abyss virus on board the 3 ships he allowed them to use for transport. Norman survived the spread of the infection on his ship, so in response, Lansdale detonated a bomb, sinking it to the bottom of the sea, with Norman still on board. Some members of Veltro survived, having hidden inside the sealed compartment of the ship, but one by one slowly died, until Norman was the only one left, slowly losing his mind in the sunken ship. Veltro was finished, and Lansdale believed he had covered up any evidence of his wrongdoings. The other 2 ships, the Queen Zenobia and Queen Semiramis, were sent out to be lost at sea. Disillusioned from not being able to help anybody in the city, Jessica and Parker left the FBC and joined the BSAA, alongside Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. In the year 2005, Chris was partnered with Jessica and sent into a mountainous region in northern Europe to investigate a suspected Veltro hideout.
Looks that way, doesn't it?
Then Veltro is back from the dead.
Yeah. We have to stop them before anyone gets hurt.
Shit!
Chris! Are you okay?
It's just my leg. I'm not going anywhere for a while.
Chris was wounded, and suddenly he was attacked by vicious wolves, appearing to be infected. Signs of Veltro activity were now clear, and he fought them off until Jessica could reach him.
Damn, there's too many of them. My ammo's not gonna last.
Can you stand?
Thanks. I'll be okay.
Sorry to bring this up again, but
Bring what up?
do you trust me as much as Jill?
There's no need to compare. I trust you both. Besides, trust is built through actions, not words.
That's so like you, Chris. It's always about the job, isn't it?
Chris and Jessica continued investigating the area, but the interference present caused them to lose contact with BSAA headquarters. During that same time, the FBC quarantined the area along the coast of the Terragrigia ruins, after discovering that several unusual bodies were washing up on the shore. The director of the BSAA, Clive O'Brien, went in directly with Jill and Parker to investigate, and Jill found evidence that the bodies were some sort of viral infection. Director O'Brien received the news from the BSAA headquarters that all contact with Chris and Jessica was lost, and their last coordinates were mysteriously showing them in the middle of the sea, on a ship. Jill and Chris were still extremely close, since they'd been fighting bioweapons together since the Spencer Mansion incident, so Jill decided to take a boat with Parker and track the coordinates to the lost Queen Zenobia, the same ship that Lansdale had spread the T-Abyss virus on. Instead of finding her fellow BSAA members, she found what was left of the Veltro crew that was on board.
So, it's not Chris. This explains our missing crew.
This is not good.
The entire ship was filled with these new mutations caused by the T-Abyss, and eventually found a room where it seemed that Chris was being held.
Chris? What is this?
It's time you learned the truth, Miss Valentine.
The BSAA had now lost contact with Jill and Parker, and were finally able to get a hold of Chris. O'Brien realized that the signal from the Queen Zenobia must have been a trap, and Chris aborted his mission to rescue Jill from whatever danger she was in.
I sent Jill and Parker to the Mediterranean on faulty intel, and now I've lost contact with them.
I haven't heard from them since.
How? What's going on?
Chris, you better look at this.
It's impossible.
O'Brien, you're not gonna like this. We found the Veltro crest.
Then stories of their resurrection are true. If that's the case,
Then the setup that got Jill and Parker. It was all...
Yeah, I'd almost guarantee it.
O'Brien, we'll go after Jill and Parker. I hope that's not a problem.
Not at all. Make your way to the Mediterranean, and we'll keep you posted.
Any idea what's going on?
We'll sort it out later. We have to move.
Jill woke up disoriented and separated from Parker without any of her weapons. When she found Parker, they worked together to retrieve their weapons and survive the monsters on board. They had to find a way to contact BSAA headquarters and let them know what was happening. The best chance to send the message out would be the bridge of the ship, but the communication system on board were destroyed. It seemed as if they were trapped, but they weren't alone.
Don't tell me that was the tugboat.
Shit, we'll be stuck here. Jill!
Raymond. That's you, isn't it?
The BSAA. A little too late.
What is the FBC doing here? Answer me, Raymond.
I don't have to answer anything. You have no authority over this.
There's no time to fight. We've got to...
Give it a rest. I don't even know why you're here or who you're fighting.
Raymond, stop right there.
Nothing will change unless you get your hands dirty.
After some more investigation, they found recordings being played from Veltro's founder, Jack Norman, threatening to spread the T-Abyss virus into the Earth's oceans, an act that could potentially have apocalyptic results. To get a message out to the BSAA, Jill had to restore power to the ship, and Raymond had also traveled there with his FBC partner Rachel, but she was missing after separating from him, and she happened to have the key that can turn the power back on. Jill remembered passing by a dead body in one of the ship's rooms and thought it was possibly Rachel, making her way back to confirm her identity, but the body was no longer there.
Oh, shit.
Jill, what's wrong?
I found the target, but she's a zombie.
Isn't that always the case?
Since Chris left the Veltro airport he had discovered with Jessica to go find Jill, the BSAA sent 2 agents to replace them and finish the investigation, Keith and Quint, and the 2 of them found security footage showing evidence of hunters in the area, including a new species of hunter that could camouflage itself to appear invisible.
Did you see that? Not control BOW? Talk about a wrench in the works. Keep it together, and... oh! They never had a chance. Is that in here? It certainly looks like that. Whoa! What the hell is it? It's a poltergeist! Hey, Quinn!
I'll switch the feeds.
Huh. We got a live one here.
Shh, quiet.
Hey, what the hell is that?
I told you to be quiet. Oh, whoa! There's something there. I don't know what, but we can't see it.
Oh, nasty.
Hey, did he just drop something? I just got hit. It was the invisible man or something. I'm sure of it.
For real?
He's a hunter.
It disappeared.
Now I get what happened on the security feeds. That was the ghost. It's a new type of hunter.
Thanks for the explanation. Did I mention this glows? How do I know where to shoot if I can't see it? Another one goes down. Quinn, how many left?
I told you I don't know because I can't see them.
Sweet blows. I don't think there's any more.
Keith and Quint went to the crash site of the Veltro airplane and used the onboard computer to locate the coordinates of the Queen Zenobia that Jill was on, and sent the location to Chris and Jessica. They made their way to the ship that happened to be nearby, and rushed through looking for Jill and Parker, but time was running out. The area of the ship Jill was on began flooding quickly.
We're running out of time.
Damn it! Jill! It's not stopping! You?
A little close for comfort.
After searching the ship room by room, Chris couldn't find Jill anywhere, and discovered that they were on the wrong ship. The coordinates had led them to the Queen Zenobia's sister ship.
Nobody home.
Where'd you go, Jill?
Back on the Zenobia, Jill attempted to repair the ship's communication system and was successfully able to contact O'Brien in the BSAA HQ. Quint grew suspicious that Veltro was oddly silent for a revived terrorist organization, and came to the conclusion that Veltro hadn't actually returned at all. He believed O'Brien had orchestrated the entire story to put pressure on Lansdale, who he had suspected long ago to be corrupt.
Director O'Brien, I think I put it all together. Veltro was never back in action. It was all smoke and mirrors, orchestrated by yourself.
Your own little Veltro production. All to get into the head of one certain somebody.
You pretty much got it. I'm glad I'm not paying you for nothing.
Lansdale had also been monitoring the situation and discovered the whereabouts of the ship that Jill and Parker were on. They were getting too close to the truth of his involvement, and he activated the solar array that was used to destroy Terragrigia and aimed it directly at the ship. But Veltro still had a drone left on board from the attacks, and Jill used the drone to confuse the satellite, deploying it to draw the solar beam away. Although the blast had missed the ship, it was still sinking, and Chris was on his way to extract them, but the T-Abyss had made it into the water and infected some of the sea life.
Stay sharp. There's something out there. Good spot to board the Zenobia. We can board from here. Jessica, we have a promise to keep. Let's go.
Great. A cruise, just the two of us. Only the whole thing is sinking.
After fending off the creature, they boarded the ship and reunited with Jill and Parker, with the Veltro revealing itself.
Jessica, why did you fire?
To protect our people. Isn't that our job?
Don't you dare die. Damn. Raymond? What? Why? Why play the part of Veltro?
Raymond had been working with O'Brien to impersonate Veltro and pressure Lansdale into revealing his true intentions. All Veltro activity on board the ship was actually Raymond. The BSA director never intended for any of his agents to be hurt, but now the truth was out and the BSA had a virus to destroy. The lab was somewhere on board, and they couldn't let it leak into the ocean. Chris and Jill partnered up and set out to destroy the virus just like old times, and found creatures infesting the waters of the ship. And as expected, they found the lab where the T-Abyss was being contained. The inner core of the lab had an enormous container filled with the virus, an amount that would spread into vast portions of the world's oceans. The only way to destroy it was to activate a neutralizing agent that would essentially make the virus harmless, but it would take time, and the T-Abyss creatures were everywhere.
Virus neutralization complete.
I should have expected as much from the duo who brought down Umbrella. However, your days of playing cops and robbers are over.
The BSAA. My dear Director O'Brien, your whole organization. You cause nothing but trouble. Surely you didn't expect me to just let you snoop around unbridled. Don't kid yourselves. Have a look. Your destiny is in my hands.
What the?
The Queen Zenobia.
While Jill and Chris were destroying the virus, Parker confronted Jessica, believing that she was a double agent, secretly spying for Lansdale, and she couldn't contain her secrets any longer.
We don't have time to...
Parker, subdue that woman.
Raymond, how?
But you were...
She's trying to activate the ship's self-destruct mechanism to destroy the evidence.
What?
Guys, this is getting out of hand. Not funny. Come on. Say something. Parker, it's me.
I can't trust you completely. Not yet. Put your gun down, Raymond.
You're too soft. Don't be fooled, Parker. Parker!
Stupid men. I knew O'Brien had a lapdog. I'll tell Morgan it was you.
Jessica!
Don't worry about dinner. Now we're even. I'm sorry, Parker.
Go after her. But you... Raymond, go!
A wounded Parker forced Raymond to go after her, while Lansdale set off a detonation of Zenobia's sister ship.
Well, the proud Queen Semiramis. She chooses death rather than suffer indignity. As will the Queen Zenobia.
Self-destruct sequence initiated. All personnel evacuate immediately. This sequence cannot be aborted. Repeat.
Checkmate.
They had to get off the ship before it exploded, and during their escape, they found the wounded Parker.
Hi, dear.
Can you stand, Parker?
Thanks, Jill.
Parker!
Just not my night. Damn it! Good times, Jill. It was a nice ride.
What?
See you guys.
Jill, we have to go.
Yeah, Chris. I know.
With only minutes left to escape, Jill and Chris made it outside, but the creature that Chris had faced in the water before returned. A creature known as the Malakota. The monster came into being when a mass of T-Abyss-infected worms took a whale as its host, becoming one of the largest bioweapons in history.
This is Hat-Trip. Do you read?
Extraction is not possible at this time. I'll execute a holding pattern. Hat-Trick out.
What have they created?
We can do this, Chris.
Incredible! Both of you! I'll drop down a ladder. Come on up!
No, not yet. We can't let this thing roam free.
Agreed. Ready, Chris?
me. What's happening?
On our way out. We lost Parker.
Jessica took the whole ship down. The FBC, well, Morgan, was one step ahead of us the whole way.
Yes, I see. I hate to think this could all be a mistake. My mistake.
Come clean with us, O'Brien. Don't leave anything out.
The Malakota was dead, and the T-Abyss virus threat on the ship was contained, and Director O'Brien came clean with his mistakes. With all the evidence against Lansdale seemingly destroyed, he took the opportunity and infiltrated the BSAA headquarters and falsely arrested O'Brien for colluding with Veltro. Chris and Jill were the last hope to find evidence implicating Lansdale, and they learned about the third ship, the Queen Dido, still underwater in the ruins of Terragrigia. Jill and Chris dove deep into the ship's wreckage and discovered Veltro bodies having been underwater for a year, and discovered that the infected blobs that were washing up on the beach were coming from here. Jill and Chris also found the sealed-off section, free of water, where the leader of Veltro had been confined alone since the ship went down, finding video evidence that he had injected himself with the T-Abyss virus to survive this long. Jack Norman was still alive, infected in the ship, and had the evidence against Lansdale, but when they discovered him, he was out of his mind, and the T-Abyss virus had taken over.
Morgan, behold the terror which you have unleashed.
Norman, stop! Morgan isn't here!
It's no use. He's gone over the edge.
Done. Everything finished. Finally, I can die. I can die.
I hope he finds more comfort in death than he did in life.
Now the Veltro terrorist organization was truly dead, and Lansdale had no defense for the footage that Jill and Chris found. O'Brien relieved him from his position as the director of FBC and arrested him. After Lansdale's arrest, the FBC was formally disbanded, and the remaining agents were incorporated into the BSAA. Keith and Quint remained with the BSAA, and Keith took a leadership position with their East Africa branch. Parker was found alive, floating off the shore of the Mediterranean, and after recovering, he returned to his position in the BSAA. O'Brien took responsibility for his deception and stepped down as director of the BSAA, instead becoming an advisor to the agency, and letting someone else take over. Raymond and Jessica had also made it off the ship with a sample of the T-Abyss virus. Unknown to any of their fellow agents, the two had been working together the entire time as spies of the Tricell Corporation.
Almost too easy, wasn't it? The company let them take Morgan out with the trash.
Tough world.
You filed a report on this. By the way, why save Parker?
I have my reasons.
The BSAA isn't as useless as I thought. Things could really heat up.
Indeed. The fun's just getting started.
This ends the events of Resident Evil Revelations. While Chris and Jill continued their work with the BSAA, Chris's sister Claire had joined a human rights organization called TerraSave, meant to provide medical aid during bioterrorism incidents and ensured safe drug development. And TerraSave had become extremely critical of a company called Will Pharma that had created a vaccine for the T-virus. Although the Daylight antivirus could clear up an early T-virus infection, Will Pharma's vaccine could prevent infection completely. In the public eye, the company appeared to be an innocent, benevolent organization, but it was secretly conducting experiments much like Umbrella had. TerraSave had discovered photos of human test subjects exposed to the T-virus in India, and the company denied any wrongdoing, claiming that the experiments shown were simply for the vaccine. But the damage was done, and public protests against the company were on the rise. And an ex-Umbrella researcher named Frederick Downing erased his past and made his way into the company. He had stolen G and T-virus samples from Raccoon City before its destruction, and had been selling them on the black market. But he knew that he would have a hard time selling it without a vaccine to match it. So he joined Will Pharma in order to help develop the vaccine, all while searching for customers illegally on the side. He found one in Miguel Grande, the leader of the Republic of Bajirib, but the general required demonstrations of the virus's power before agreeing to the sale. Another employee of Will Pharma, Curtis Miller, was strongly against the company's T-virus vaccine research after his own wife and child were victims of the Raccoon City outbreak.
Let me through! Let me through!
Can you see that area behind me beneath the red tinted sky? That is what's left of Raccoon City after the military fired a missile at it.
According to unconfirmed reports, the missile was allegedly nuclear. If this is indeed the case, then there's little hope of finding any survivors among the city's 100,000 inhabitants.
Mr. President, what is the connection between Umbrella Corporation and this biohazard
No more questions at this time. Thank you very much.
The President has announced his resignation.
Eventually they fired him from the company, and he made it his lifelong mission to expose the government's ties to the incident, something that was covered up extremely well after the Raccoon trials. Downing knew that any bioterror incident involving Will Pharma would be blamed on Curtis, and he enacted his plan to demonstrate the T-virus's abilities. This leads us to the events of Resident Evil Degeneration. In November of 2005, Claire went to an airport in the city of Harvardville to meet another friend from TerraSave, who asked Claire to watch her niece, Ronnie, while she pulled her vehicle around to the front of the airport. And in the airport, Claire met Frederick Downing, completely unaware that he was actually an ex-Umbrella employee orchestrating a T-virus outbreak. He had ensured the virus was let loose inside the airport and in an incoming plane.
Please, help me.
Attention, all persons inside the terminal. Evacuate the building immediately. Repeat, evacuate the terminal immediately. This is not a drill. You all exit. Everyone, evacuate the terminal building immediately.
The chaos was spreading and the situation needed to be contained before it spread from the airport into the rest of the city. The police SRT special response team was sent in to rescue survivors and fight the undead, and the government contacted Leon S. Kennedy, sending him in to assist.
Some of this is enough. Get off! Yeah, come on! Yeah! It's enough! Stop! Get off! Yeah! Woo! What the hell, man?
The only way to stop him is to shoot him in the head. It's their only vulnerable spot. Don't forget it. Otherwise, you waste time and ammunition, and that can prove to be fatal.
Do we have anything here that can be used as a weapon? Never saw this coming.
Get down!
Leon! What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Old friends reunited and worked together to keep the rest of the survivors safe. Claire may not have had specialized military training, but she had far more experience with bioweapons than any of the survivors in the group.
Barely.
They made it outside safely thanks to the efforts of Leon and Claire, and the military arrived to finish containing the situation.
Ronnie!
Aunt! Aunt!
Oh my God, you're all right!
I was so scared! Aunt! They were everywhere! I didn't think I was...
I can't stand kids. They're a real pain in the ass.
Oh, bastard! That little girl will probably have nightmares for the rest of her life because of you.
One member of the SRT, horrified at the nightmare she just lived through, was Angela Miller, who also happened to be the younger sister of Curtis. Claire had seen him earlier in the airport and thought he may have been the one that caused the outbreak, exactly as Downing had planned. Downing also had planted a bomb on the nearby trucks filled with the T-virus vaccine to disguise the entire event as a terrorist attack. Angela knew her brother would never do something like this and hurt innocent people, and went with Leon to her brother's house to confront him, but she hadn't seen him in 3 years. When she arrived, she found his house on fire. Curtis had decided to erase his old life and headed straight for the new Will Pharma facility to find the proof he needed to expose the government's involvement in Raccoon City. That same night, Downing invited Claire to come visit the Will Pharma facility and showed her everything they were working on, including the cure for the G-virus. But Claire knew how dangerous and uncontrollable the G-virus was.
This is the G-virus.
You have that here?
It remains a secret even within the company.
I've got to tell Leon.
Wait, no, If you do that, what's going to happen to me?
You didn't seem worried about that when you were just telling me everything.
Looks like there's something wrong with the server.
Claire, what's wrong?
Leon, get over here to Will Pharma right now. They've got the G virus. They were gonna make a vaccine like they did for the T virus.
Claire was now a liability, and she instantly called Leon to come to the building. The G virus had to be destroyed, but Downing had planned to orchestrate another bioterror incident and activated a bomb within the facility.
Claire? Claire! Damn it!
What's wrong?
I don't know. We got cut off.
Attention all personnel. A system error has occurred. Terminate all activities immediately and evacuate the dome until safe conditions are re-established and verified. Evacuate the dome until safe conditions are re-established and verified. Attention all personnel. A system error has occurred.
Leon!
What happened? Where's Frederick? That's a nasty wound. Gotta get you out of here.
I'm all right. Listen to me. Curtis was here. I saw him. He came out of level 4 where the G virus was kept.
Angela and Leon searched the facility for answers as a U.S. military unit also arrived to respond to the situation, and Curtis revealed himself. He had survived the bomb blast and had found the G virus within the facility, and injected himself just as William Birkin had before. He believed this act would be the proof he needed, but the sheer power of the G virus was too much for him to control.
Get all of you! We'll be the very first witnesses!
The automated systems in the Will Pharma building were designed to incinerate any biological outbreak, and Leon and Angela only had a small time frame to escape before they were engulfed in flames. While Claire was in the building's control room trying to buy them time, the now monstrous Curtis was blindly chasing his sister, sensing their blood connection and wishing to use her as a breeding tool. The G-Virus, as it was designed to do, continued mutating Curtis into a stronger, more mindless weapon, and as another security measure, the platforms in the buildings were designed to be plunged into the deep chasm below, in case of an outbreak.
Warning. Level 4 submerged system will engage soon. Level 4 submerged system will engage soon. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
system verifies there's no more virus in here, the hole will close.
Let go of me, damn it, or you'll fall too! You can't die, you have to destroy these viruses! Please, Leon, don't try to save me!
Curtis was dead, and the entire Wolf Pharma building was sterilized, preventing another Raccoon City event. But Claire was able to put the pieces together and came to the conclusion that Downing had been behind everything. Claire, Angela, and Leon went after him, but he was already in contact with his black market dealer, awaiting extraction. He had demonstrated the power of the virus, and even had G-Virus data to sell to the General, but he would never have the opportunity.
Right on time. You were supposed to come alone.
I just wanted to see your face one more time.
Don't move! Wait, please! Don't shoot me! Let's talk! You're a smart woman, and smart women like money. I can make you rich. We'll split everything 50-50. I meant 70-30. I'm happy with 30. Please, please take it all. Don't kill me, I'm begging you, please! No!
Downing's arrest had a huge impact on black market T-Virus sales. He was involved in almost every single bioterror event in some way, and he also caused public trust in Wolf Pharma to completely collapse. The company shut its doors and could no longer operate. But from the shadows, Wesker and his business partner Excella, who was now CEO of Tricell, offered to buy the company and its resources, and Tricell sent in a group of their researchers into the ruins of the Wolf Pharma biolab, and collected any viral samples they could find, ending the events of Resident Evil Degeneration.
What are you up to? Need a lift?
I have a limousine waiting.
Next time we bump into each other, let's hope it's someplace a little more normal.
Definitely.
Till next time.
Tricell experimentation on Umbrella's viruses and Las Plagas had progressed so far that they created perfected versions of the parasite, with the assistance of a Tricell researcher named Ricardo Irving. The new parasites could grant the host, in some cases, enhanced strength, agility, and size. Wesker had also provided Tricell with the location of Umbrella's original lab in Africa, where the progenitor virus was first discovered by Spencer, and Tricell created their own facility deep within the Umbrella ruins. Studying the progenitor virus closely, Tricell developed the Uroboros virus, a new weapon Wesker planned to use to push his version of human evolution forward. Uroboros infected human cells directly, inserting its genes into the host genome and merging with them seamlessly. But in its early stages, the virus was too deadly, having a 100% fatality rate. Wesker still needed to perfect it before it could be used for his purposes, and Tricell began testing the virus, combined with their Plagas parasites, on the vulnerable locals in Africa, around the Kijuju region. He also knew that Chris and Jill had been tracking him for some time, and the BSAA needed to be eliminated, as they were the only serious threat to him. In the year 2006, the BSAA received a tip from a reliable source, detailing the last known location of Umbrella's founder, Oswald Spencer. He had been on the run since the raccoon trials ended, and hiding out in his European castle, weak from sickness and years of isolation. It was time for the manhunt to end, and at the same time they had hoped to find any intel that would lead them to Wesker. But Wesker had already arrived at Spencer's estate, intent on tying up the final loose end left over from Umbrella, and determined to get rid of his old teammates.
The Wesker children were entrusted with endless potential. Of them, only one survived. You.
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I was to become a god. Creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings. However, all was lost with Raccoon City. Despite that setback, your creation still holds great significance. Now my candle burns dimly. Ironic, isn't it? For one who has the right to be a god. To face his own mortality.
The right to be a god. That right is now mine. The right to be a god. You. Arrogant even until the end. Only one truly capable of being a god deserves that right.
The loss of Jill weighed heavy on Chris. No bodies were ever found, and Wesker was presumed dead. And for 3 months, the BSAA searched for Jill, until they finally declared her dead, honoring her with an empty grave. But Chris refused to believe that Jill hadn't survived, and obsessively took every available mission in the hopes of finding clues to her whereabouts. Jill and Wesker had actually both survived the fall, and Wesker had taken an unconscious Jill with him to finalize his Uroboros testing. Jill had T-virus antibodies inside of her, and introducing those bodies into the new virus virus stabilized it, and guaranteed a select percentage of the human population would remain alive after infection. For those humans compatible with the virus, they could retain their normal human form and be granted superhuman abilities, similar to Wesker. But those that were incompatible would suffer horrible mutations, held together by orange pus-filled organs. Wesker kept Jill cryogenically frozen, and he attached a Plaga's parasite to her chest, using it to take over her mind and follow his orders without question, without implanting itself inside of her. Wesker's final doomsday plot was now in motion, and he began infecting the local population in Africa to draw out the BSAA, keep them distracted, and to slaughter them. The BSAA knew of Tricell's Ricardo Irving, and believed he was in the area selling viral components across the black market. Chris accepted the mission to Kijuju and was partnered up with one of the BSAA's African branch agents, Sheva Alomar.
Welcome to Africa. My name is Sheva Alomar.
Chris Redfield.
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Redfield. It's an honor.
Just Chris, thanks. So you'll be accompanying me to the destination?
Yes. Tensions are running high ever since the change in government.
I'll bet. Intel says it's a haven for terrorists now.
And I'm not going to be happy to see an American, BSAA or not. That's why I'm your partner. Help put them at ease.
Well, I'm sure you'll do just fine. Partner.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry. It's nothing. Let's go.
This begins the events of Resident Evil 5.
Wasaliti wote walete kwa wenye mamlaka. Ukipata
Chris and Sheva met a contact in the unstable region that provided them with weapons and the location of where he believed Irving's black market deal was going through. The BSAA had been hearing rumors of a new virus called Uroboros in the area, and Irving was the only one they knew of that could provide any solid answers. As they went through the town, they found it to be eerily quiet. The locals stayed indoors. Butchered animals were left rotting. Something wasn't right.
freeze!
Are you okay?
We need to get out of here. We need to get to that house. We'll have a better chance of fighting them from
Chris had read the report issued by Leon about the Ganado incident in Spain, and these villagers were behaving in a similar way. It seemed that the reports of some kind of viral infection were true, and the two agents found themselves surrounded by hostile forces. The entire scenario had been a well-planned trap by Wesker. Seemingly innocent civilians were just physical bodies for the new Plagas type Tricell had developed.
What you want to live yourself? Yandia that too!
Missiles are hostile. The gate is sealed, and we're trapped. We need backup, and we need it right now.
Hey, what's wrong? Be careful. They may still be here. Are you okay?
BSAA squads in the region were being decimated, and the pair had to rendezvous with the local Alpha team. But when they discovered the squad, it was too late. Their bodies were covered in a black slime, unlike anything they'd seen before. This was the Uroboros virus on full display.
What the hell is that?
That's what got Alpha Team.
With Alpha Team gone, Chris and Sheva were the only agents left alive in the region and had to survive until backup would be sent to assist them, while Irving was monitoring their every move alongside the infected Jill.
What was that thing?
BOW that scumbag Irving left behind to set us up. Considering what it did to Alpha Team, I think we're lucky to still be breathing.
If only we could have gotten there sooner.
If we had, we'd probably be dead too. Chris, to HQ, do you copy?
This is HQ. Excellent work out there. We'll analyze the data immediately.
This whole town's gone to hell. The people here, they're acting like those Ganado detailed in the Kennedy report. And aside from that, there's something new, something we've never encountered before.
Our transportation has been taken out too. Requesting a mission update.
The mission stands. Capturing Irving is your top priority. We believe he may have fled to the mines on the other side of the train station.
Wait, we're the only two left. You want us to go in there alone?
Delta team have been dispatched and they're on their way. They'll assist you in locating and apprehending Irving.
But wait, we can't!
I repeat, your mission stands. We can't afford to let him get away. Proceed to the mines beyond the station. Over and out.
This is insane!
You ever get the feeling you're expendable?
Local civilians weren't the only threat in the area. The parasites had also created brand new bioweapons, implanting themselves inside wild dogs in the region, and using human bodies to give birth to flying monstrosities. The fight for survival was desperate, as Chris and Sheva were completely unprepared for the sheer number of infected.
Man, am I glad to see you guys.
Delta Team Captain Stone.
Chris Redfield.
Sheva.
Thanks, Josh. I owe you one.
Sheva's mentor Josh had rescued them with his squad and provided Chris with more information on Irving's whereabouts, but the info he provided also proved that Jill was still alive.
Jill.
Chris, are you all right?
This picture, it's... forget it. It's nothing. Let's move out.
Irving was supposedly hiding out in the nearby mining area, and Chris and Sheva fought their way through dangerous caves, finding the cowardly Irving on the run.
Breathe! Oh, shit.
So you must be Irving.
Wow, perceptive, aren't ya?
You think this is a joke? You're just like all the other pieces of scum terrorists.
Oh, I'm not like them. I'm a businessman with standards.
Drop the weapon.
Or, how about you drop yours? Hurry! Suckers!
Irving had escaped for now, but Chris found evidence of his activities in the tribal marshlands of Kijuju, on some kind of oil field, and he believed that he was headed there to hide. But one of Tricell's bioweapons was ready to be used against the BSAA, the Popo Karimu, a Plaga-infected experiment based from a bat.
What can we do to slow it down?
way to the oil field, the locals mounted a final attempt to stop the BSAA from reaching Irving, using groups of motorcycle gangs, trucks filled with attackers, and a giant just like the type that Leon faced in Spain.
Sheva, you don't have to do this. You can still back out.
What about you?
I've got a personal stake in this.
A personal stake? Chris, look around. We should both get the hell out of here.
I'm not here just for the mission.
What are you talking about?
A while back, I received some intel that my old partner was still alive. At first, I didn't know what to think. But when I saw the data file from Delta Team, I knew for sure. Jill is still alive.
That woman in the data file? Are you even sure it's the same person?
We were partners. I'm sure.
Wait! Wait! You're not going alone. Chris, wait!
I don't have much time. I have to find her.
I'm going with you. These are my people that are dying here.
Are you sure about this? A second ago, you were ready to cut and run.
I can't just turn my back and walk away.
There are no more orders from here on in. It's just us.
We're partners. To the end. Now let's get moving.
Copy that.
Chris, more than anything, wanted to find Jill. He knew her better than anybody, and there was no way Jill was working willingly with Irving, and Sheva promised to help him. The BSAA headquarters were silent, and the pair had no more orders. Irving's ultimate plan was still a mystery, and Sheva wanted to save her people. Africa had been used by Umbrella as a testbed for its earlier experiments with the progenitor virus, and her own parents fell victims to Umbrella's activities. And now Tricell had secretly replaced Umbrella over the years, plunging her home into chaos. The madness even spread to the local tribes that reverted back to their most primal instincts and primitive ways of life. Eventually they did track down Irving as expected, but with the help of Jill, he was once again able to escape and set the area to explode. But Josh had arrived just in time to rescue them, the only other BSAA agent left alive, and together they chased down Irving on his armored warship. But the Tricell lackey had the Uroboros virus ready to use.
Won't you two just die already? You're making me look bad! Who do you think got this entire operation off the ground? Research like this doesn't fund itself, you know. Yet everyone looks down on me. But not anymore.
Don't do it!
I'm far beyond anything you could ever hope to become.
is this facility? Answer me. What is the Uroboros project?
You say, wow, you two are just on top of everything, aren't you? The balance of the world is changing and you're completely oblivious to it.
What's changing? What are you talking about? Is it the Uroboros project? Is that it?
No one can stop it. Uroboros is about to change everything we've ever come to know. Chris! You're Chris!
What's so funny? How do you know about me?
All your answers are wait ahead, Chris. In that cave. If you can survive long enough to get them... Italian's not so bad, but it's not gonna change anything. You're still screwed!
We're wasting time here.
Chris!
Irving was dead, and another threat to the world was extinguished. But Irving was just another distraction, an expendable pawn of Excella and Wesker, put in place to keep the BSAA away from Wesker's final plot. Josh transported them to the cave Irving told them about, and decided to travel back to headquarters to request backup. He knew something serious was happening, and 2 agents weren't enough to contain it. This cave held enormous underground caverns filled with ancient artifacts and more tribal locals, and the entire network led to Spencer's original discovery, the garden where the progenitor virus flowers had grown, the very beginning of the T-virus coming full circle.
What is this place?
How can they survive underground?
These are no ordinary flowers. Wait. Umbrella.
What? What was Umbrella doing?
I don't know. It doesn't look like anyone's been around for a while.
You can be sure they wanted to keep this place a secret.
Some of this equipment's got the Triso logo on it. Are they working together?
Umbrella's old rusted equipment was everywhere. Chris and Sheva had stumbled upon Tricell secret labs where the Uroboros virus was developed, and many of Umbrella's old experiments were being held, such as samples of the flowers the progenitor came from, and the liquors that Umbrella created regularly as bioweapons. The chamber they discovered also held countless innocent test subjects, and the final proof that Jill was still alive.
What the hell?
In the pictures, too. What have they done?
Jill.
But Tricell awakened the U-8, a massive bioweapon meant to eliminate them.
This.
Damn it. Where is she?
Excella had Chris and Sheva under surveillance the entire time, and allowed them to get through the facility so she could show them the power of Tricell's virus. Excella was just as obsessed with creating a new world as Wesker was, and saw herself as Wesker's queen in the new world. But Wesker cared for nobody. Even Excella was just a tool to be used for him. After killing the Uroboros test subject, they hunted down Excella, and Wesker at last revealed himself, forcing Chris to fight his old partner.
Jill, it's me, Chris.
What? Are you sure that's her?
The one and only.
Jill, come on! It's me, Chris! Snap out of it!
Nice move, Chris.
Jill!
Remarkable. Still resisting at such an advanced stage. Commendable, yet futile. No more time for games, Chris. I've got work to do. Have fun watching Jill suffer.
Wait, what did you do to her?
What's that on her chest?
We have to get it off her. Jill! Are you alright?
Chris. I'm so sorry. I couldn't control my actions. But God, I was still aware. Oh, forgive me. It's all right. Thank you. Listen, I'm gonna be all right. You do need to stop him.
We can't just leave you here.
You have to. This is your only chance. If Wesker succeeds, Uroboros will be spread across the globe. Millions will die.
Oh, yeah, but...
I'm all right. You need to stop him. Chris, you're the only one who can. Before it's too late. Don't you trust your partner? Take care of him. You're our only hope to survive this.
Jill was back to normal. Chris had accomplished his mission and saved his partner, but Wesker was still out there with the plan to spread Uroboros across the globe closer than ever to becoming reality. After Chris left, Jill passed out from the exhaustion of being linked to the Plaga's parasite and was found by Josh, who was searching for Chris and Sheva. Josh had a helicopter waiting for extraction and led Jill out of the ruins. Together they fought Tricell's monsters side by side, while Chris and Sheva found Excella hiding away on a ship, and Excella refused to tell them where Wesker was and ran, but dropped what looked like some sort of injection. Whatever it was seemed like something she was very protective over, and Excella found herself cornered with nowhere left to go. Her usefulness to Wesker was now over, and he had infected her with the Uroboros virus.
Excella, what's going on?
Why? When I've done so much, all for you.
Chris, how nice of you to join us.
Wesker.
Don't worry. Your mission is at its end. Uroboros is on the eve of its appearance. 6 billion cries of agony will burn a new balance.
Sorry, Wesker, but not on my watch!
Albert! You said we change this world together! Oh, why?
I thought they were partners.
Wesker doesn't give a damn about anybody but himself.
Sorry, Excella, but it appears Uroboros has rejected you. Though you have been an excellent asset, I have one last task for you.
The hell?
Farewell, old friend.
After Excella's destruction, Chris found the terrifying plan that Wesker had in place for the Earth. The ship was filled with missiles loaded with the virus, and he was getting ready to fly an assault bomber, an aircraft that would surely be shot down. But if it crashed with the missiles on board, it would create a worldwide epidemic across the globe. Wesker's plan would mean the literal end of the human race, and he had to be stopped as soon as possible. But Wesker himself seemed impervious to any physical attacks, but Jill may have had the answer to that problem.
Jill, are you alright?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Just listen carefully. There's something I need to tell you. Wesker's superhuman strength. It comes from a virus. But the virus is unstable. In order to maintain a balance, he must inject himself regularly with a serum.
So if we cut the supply of serum, he loses his strength.
Affirmative. But he just took a dose, so it's going to be a while before he needs another one.
Damn.
Listen, Excella said that the amount administered has to be precise. So if he injects too much, it should act like a poison. I think she used the serum labeled PG67AW.
PG67AW?
I'm going to try to find a way to escape. You need to find that serum. Excella always kept it with her, and that's how she came.
Jill, come in! Jill! Shit.
Chris. This is it.
Let's give it a shot.
That serum was the exact one that Excella had dropped earlier. Chris and Sheva had the weapon that could finally bring down Wesker. Filled with hope, they fought their way through hordes of infected, as Jill and Josh made their final desperate escape.
Valentine. Oh, and you too, Josh.
tell me twice.
Chris and Sheva made it to Wesker just before he was about to launch his bomber, and the overconfident, self-proclaimed ruler of the New World played with them, unaware that they had the serum that could undo his abilities in a final battle that would determine the future of the planet.
You've really become quite an inconvenience for me.
Maybe our only chance.
Do it.
No point. Let me clarify something for you, Chris. I don't think of myself as a king.
Right? I feel... Do it now! Give him the shot!
Did it work?
I think so.
This isn't over, Chris.
He's getting away. Hurry.
Sheva! Come on!
Your feeble attempts only delay the inevitable. The entire world will be infected.
I've had enough of your bullshit! You're just another one of Umbrella's leftovers.
You know what we have to do.
All right, I'll go for the override lever. Cover me.
protocol activated.
I'm taking the two of you with me!
Like hell you will!
Wesker's plan had been completely derailed. The bomber had crashed into a volcano, and the searing heat would be enough to kill the virus, and Wesker had no way to transport it away. Wesker, with his powers growing more and more unstable, allowed the Uroboros virus into his body and merged with it. All he had left now was revenge against the man he hated so much for years.
The human race requires judgment!
You're going to judge us? You get all your ideas from comic book villains? Now, Sheva, shoot him!
I can't without hitting you!
Locked and loaded.
Suck on this, Wesker.
Your time's up, you son of a bitch. That was for our fallen brothers.
Chris and Sheva save the world, and after years of constant plotting behind the scenes, Wesker finally had met his end, closing off the events of Resident Evil 5. But with Wesker's death, was the threat of bioterror really over? Join me next time for the Resident Evil Timeline Part 5, Wesker's Legacy, where we'll see the celebrated hero Chris Redfield struggling to live with survivor's guilt and suffering from crippling bouts of PTSD. An era in which the ghosts of the Wesker Project are still very much alive, and old heroes are forced to rejoin the fight. And when another outbreak on the scale of Raccoon City is unleashed, the legacy of Albert Wesker becomes the very key to stopping it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button with all of your strength. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on social media or go into my community tab for updates. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel directly on Patreon. This is Fabian, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.